All right. Oh yeah. We are all good. We are live, gentlemen.
What up?
Boom,
What up?
boom, bam, boom. All right. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful people of the universe, man. It is great to be here again, man. Episode 90, Big 90 in the building. I got me, I got Darian, I got Evan. Sorry, Mark. I'm tripping. We here and we live on location. Evan probably be on the way, and I hope he does come because his team actually took a dub on Sunday.
Monday.
Monday, Monday,
Pain,
Monday, Monday, Monday.
pain over here. You already know, but it
Yeah,
happens,
right.
man.
Oh,
It's been pain,
blind me. Get the hell out of here.
bro.
No
It's
one,
7 a.m.
no, I don't want to hear it.
Bro, it's pain. That L was bad. We're gonna get into it, but it
Oh
was
my
painful.
goodness. I'm crying grown man tears for you over
Those
here.
those referees were
I'm
terrible, bro.
just so sad.
Those referees were fucking
The
terrible that game, bro.
oh, the refs was terrible.
Yo,
Oh wow. I
yo.
just
Them
wow.
the
Oh my
Bro, none of those
God. That's
turnovers were on
just
Jalen Hurts at all, man. It was bad, bro.
oh
We
my
needed that
this
L.
this man
We
came out
needed
the
that L.
gates like bruh. Yo. But I got Darian, I got Barker B. How y'all doing today, man?
you know,
recovering, recovering, but we're pushing through, so feeling much better.
you
Recovering,
know.
man.
A month and a half and two broken controllers later, I finally uninstalled Madden. So that's just how my day went.
Oh, you had enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I feel that. Oh man, my day's been okay. Went to work, got things done, and we here. And speaking of the football side, let's just dive into it since we just started off with that lovely energy. All right, first, Lions, Tigers, and Vikings all rally from two scores down in the fourth to win in week 10. We had a lot of clutch games this week. We had some very, very good basketball in week 10. I'm not gonna lie, and I love it as the season's starting to wrap up very quickly. In about 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, we're gonna be talking about postseason basketball, man. And I love it. I'm ready. Reaching the end of the year by the end of 2023 strong. So my question is, before we talk into it, what is your perspective on your team right now?
Do you want the ignorant perspective or do you want the honest one?
The honest.
We are just fine. We're 6-3. We're really not supposed to be here. And I'm content. As long as we make the playoffs, I don't care. We ain't going nowhere anyway. But I got more to say about that later.
The Eagles, yeah. We're sitting at 8-1. That L could definitely. I feel as though that loss definitely, really like was like a wake up call for the team, though. But I still have confidence in the team. We are dealing with injuries on the defensive side. We definitely need Jordan Davis back by week 13 against the Titans because that's going to be a pretty tough one. But as long as like we can just like clean up like little like mental errors and everything, we're going to be good moving forward. And I like Jalen Hurts' response to the loss we took. He said now we don't we're like not to doing everything, whereas this close to like really like coming back. But we took the loss and just going to make the team even better. So hopefully the team can still have that confidence and mentality moving forward. Sitting at 8-1 because 99% chance of making a playoff. So can't screw us up now. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about them.
My bad, y'all. Like I said, I'm literally doing two things at once. I'm like checking the stream and all type of stuff. But I love how my team is really just getting it. We're good. We're getting our stuff together at the right time. We didn't start the season off the best, but we're really clicking on all cylinders, man. And I'm ready. I'll be honest, I've not been logged in because there's been some Sundays where it's been crazy. We are 6-3 right now, still at the top of our division, and hopefully we end the season strong. If we end the season 10-6 or 11-5, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. I will not complain. I think it was on what are the Ravens more so. Let's see what we do in the postseason. Let's see what Lamar's made of. Let's get him winning postseason games, man. That's what I'm really looking forward to see. If we can win a postseason game or maybe win 2, 3, I'm cool.
My thing about the
Progression.
Ravens when it comes to the postseason, it really all depends on who you play.
Yeah.
It because y'all are gonna win the division just off the strength that the Bengals are kind of underachieving and they're a little bit banged up, and the Steelers and the I don't know. I want to put an asterisk next to the Browns. I want to like circle that and just highlight it a little bit because I want to see how they look when Deshaun Watson comes back. Say whatever you want, I don't care. Deshaun Watson is so much better of an upgrade, so much of an upgrade from Jacoby Brissett. Now, granted, Deshaun Watson hasn't played football in 2 years. So, he hasn't played in 2 years. He's like Ben Simmons. He hasn't played in 2 years, a year and a half. And he's the reason why. It's his choice as to why he didn't play in that span. Well, part of the reason why, at least last year was. But I feel like I don't know, because this is why I hate teams coming off of a bye week or that have been on a bye week, especially the good teams, because you kind of just forget about them until they play like, oh, so they exist. That's kind of how I am about the Ravens. So much has happened over the last week. I kind of just keep forgetting that the Ravens are playing and the Ravens are good, and we just gonna have to see.
No, yeah, I really agree. I agree. It's like how we were talking about. Funny thing how you bring up Ben Simmons. When someone doesn't play for a minute, it's like you kind of don't put high expectation on because you got to see how it goes once they get their time back and once they get the rest back in. Because not playing for a long time and really it could really be something. Like I don't want this man to come back and then he's playing a little bit under the level he's usually at, and people start dogging him. Well, people could dog him anyway. That's just the culture that we live in.
Now, people are gonna dog him because they think he shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I would just, especially in his case, people really think that man shouldn't
And
even
honestly,
be
he looked
playing.
pretty rough in the preseason too. During his preseason his little debut. So yeah, he looked kind of rough, slow. You can tell he hasn't been like out in the field a lot. He's not really as conditioned like he used to. He looked like kind of like he was kind of swole. So who knows? He has to definitely be in the right condition when he comes back because in preseason you can tell he was kind of like out of shape, and especially in some of those throws he was making. But yeah, I was telling this one Browns fan, they were like, honestly, we just have to see about the division because the Ravens are looking like the division, favorites to win it. There's really no reason why y'all should lose it, the division unless your defense just completely implodes again. But the Browns, like yeah, like Darian was saying, like Deshaun Watson, really talent wise, he just really is that franchise difference making up a quarterback talent. It's just that it's facts, and so we really have to see how the Browns. It's interesting to see how the Browns are going to be when he gets back in that lineup and gets back to that starting position. So yeah, that's why like I kind of had that hot take about the Browns saying, "Hey, what if they win the AFC North? It's not impossible." Yeah.
True. I agree, man. All right. Let's go to the Bills because the Bills have kind of been a team where everybody's they've been riding very strong momentum this year. So they lose 2 straight games. How do you feel about the Super Bowl chances? Or not? You still think they're a lock? You still think they have a chance to go all the way? Or you think, there's a little bit of kink in the armor right now?
Yes, because like the turnovers as they are something that needs to be looked at. It's like that can be fixed. That can be fixed. Now the thing is, they're third in their division, and honestly, I think Miami is better than them. For real, at least right now, they look better than them. But I think the Bills are just so talented all around, and they're banged up too. There's a
Injuries.
lot there's a lot of guys on defense that's not there, but I think like there's a lot of people on defense that isn't there, but like they just lose a lot of close games. That's really the big thing about it is like they just lose a lot of close games, and it's really just because Josh Allen wants to be the hero. We say it about Carson Wentz, and in no way am I calling Josh Allen Carson Wentz. Never in my life would I call Josh Allen Carson Wentz. But the biggest thing about Carson Wentz is he's always looking for that big play. Josh Allen is always looking for that big play where he's the guy that wins you the game instead of just making the safe play at when you need to, when it's like, okay, this isn't there, live to see another down. Either throw the ball away or check it down. Josh Allen doesn't do that. He's like, chuck it and fuck it. I'm gonna just throw it up, hope my guy gets it.
Josh Allen is the definition of YOLO on the football field.
Yeah, he's been like that his whole career. I mean, granted, of course they've honed that in over the last couple of years, but now it's like you see Mahomes. Mahomes kind of went through the same thing last year, where he was turning the ball over and people were looking at him like, so are you not who we think you are? And then the coaching staff kind of gets with him and tones him down a little bit, calms him down, and now he's doing the daggone thing. And I think Josh Allen has to go through it. I don't know if he'll come out the same as Mahomes, but the Bills are so good all around that even though Josh Allen is struggling now, which is fine, you're still in a playoff spot. It's cool to struggle a little bit now in November than struggle in January and February. And so, I mean, as long as they stay healthy, as long as Josh Allen continues to improve, then they're still a good favorite to win or to go to the Super Bowl. Although I think the Chiefs are going to come out the AFC. I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. No, because you made a good point comparing the Bills to the Chiefs from like Mahomes last year. And honestly, I still do think the Bills are the favorites to win that division, even though this is kind of crazy. This is like the closest we've really seen the AFC East like in a while, as far as just like the records and the teams. And ironically, the Patriots are like at the bottom of the division, like living in some different times. But yeah, I saw like a good point where people were saying, like, over the couple of weeks, are the Bills having Josh Allen like just do so much on offense? It's like Darian said, they have like good all around players on the offense. It's a pretty good set system. Josh Allen, we know his ability to make like these spectacular plays and everything, highlight plays, but at a point sometimes we've seen it like backfire on him, where it's like, okay, he's going for like that big home run every time, but no, someone's right there like the interceptor, like on the defensive side, someone was to also make that big home run intercepting play. So yeah, it's kind of cost the Bills, and like Darian said, it's been like close games, but I feel as though the Bills, they're going to easily learn from those mistakes they made over the past like couple of weeks, and just kind of like have tone down the offense some. Like you have Stephon Diggs, you have like Gabe Davis, you have a good tight end, Dawson Knox. Like just utilize the offense and like just like go steady, like, and move the chains, because the Bills are really that good. They can pick up like big chunk yards even with Josh Allen, just like simply running the 10-yard play. So yeah, I think the Bills they're still favorites to win that AFC East, and they should get that win the I have them still winning like the AFC like altogether, honestly, winning that conference out.
How do you guys feel about the Vikings?
The Vikings
The
are real,
Eagles,
and y'all need to stop disrespecting them just because
the
Kirk
only
Cousins
team to
is
beat them,
the quarterback. Y'all need to
the only
stop.
team to beat them are the Eagles. That's
He
how I feel
said,
about the
"Bro,
Vikings.
respect our
And the
cousin's
Eagles
name." Hey,
and the
yo.
Eagles own Minnesota. That's how I feel about the Vikings. No, but in all seriousness, though, like the Vikings, like I can't even lie. Like Mr. Primetime, he's doing the damn thing this year, and Justin Jefferson is, balling out. He is him. Like, yeah, like the Vikings. Like at this point, I didn't really see him going like 8-1 at all because usually we see like Kirk Cousins like just mess up in prime time, like when he has big games, but they've literally been pulling it off, like this season, except for that one game against the Eagles. But other than that, I don't know. The Vikings, they could be like something serious in the playoffs because that team is definitely complete. Complete and like well coached. And Cousins, he's actually playing like that. Contract he's getting paid. The biggest finesser in the game. But hey, he's doing the damn thing.
He
Gotta
said
give him credit.
he's
All right.
in the
Hey,
game.
bro.
All right, so I got
Yeah.
two things, and this is why I say y'all need to put some respect on Kirk Cousins' name. Kirk Cousins is making what, like 35 mil? At that point,
Top QB money, yup.
it's not even top QB money. It's just straight starting QB money. Like if you're a starter and if you're a starting caliber quarterback, that's the money that you're going to make. And Kirk Cousins he's not great. Kirk Cousins is not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he can damn well lose you one. But Kirk Cousins can be a good part in getting you there. So the 35 mil in this QB market is okay for him. The second thing is, I remember last season when we were talking about the Vikings, and I called them the most frustrating team in football because they are so good, but they lose so many close games. Half of the Vikings' losses last year were by at least a field goal. And so I look at them this year, they're winning those games that they were losing last year. So now we have to put a different taste in our mouth when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings. And I think of the Vikings this year and like how they flipped it from last year, I just totally off topic. I look at the Raiders, how they were winning those close games last year and they're losing the close games this year. And just to think if they had won at least half of those games, they would be right up there with the Chargers in terms of a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting just seeing how the Vikings like just play moving forward because like I can actually say like the Vikings are definitely not frauds this year. They're like like winning like game after game, and really the only bad game like I said was really just like against Philly, but that was about it though, and that's just because really our defense just stepped up that game. That's all that was though. But yeah, like Jefferson is really having like one of his best seasons of his career so far. Dalvin Cook, is getting his reps per usual. Is like moving the chains. They have another good wide receiver, Adam Thielen. Like they're really just complete, and that's why over the years we've been saying like the Vikings are like really one of those just frustrating teams. They have all of this talent, and then they just end up losing like close games, and they can't do anything like moving forward. So it looks like they're finally playing with like a chip on their shoulder, and hey, they're like definitely a team to watch out for, and definitely a threat. Like in the NFC for sure because they have a chance of really winning it out as well. Like really between them or the Eagles, that's like the only two. Really between them, I could see that's going for like that NFC race. Philly and Minnesota, but it's interesting though for sure. Happy is like some different, more competition, like different teams this year. Just kind of makes the game suspenseful.
I actually because I want to see what like you can't write off Tampa just yet. They done
Yeah, not
pulled
gonna
off two
lie,
straight,
Brady.
and any team with Tom Brady, I'm just gonna say don't write them off.
No, I
But
agree. You gotta respect the GOAT though, because
but
yeah, he still does it.
but going back to the Vikings, just one last thing, like we always talk about how Kirk can't win the big games and how he always comes up short. Granted, I feel like he did in that first half, he did everything in his power to lose that game. He did, but they fought back. Granted, there was some defensive plays. Dalvin Cook had a big run. Justin Jefferson had the catch of the decade. But last week was a prove it game and he won. But some people are kind of looking at that and like, it's a little bit of a fluke. Because even I feel like the Bills lost that game more than the Vikings won. Now they have Dallas, who's coming off of probably one of the worst losses that they've had over the course of the last few years. And Kirk Cousins has a thing about not beating the Cowboys. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game on Sunday, Minnesota versus Dallas. Like, definitely, I'm definitely gonna try to tune in for that for sure. If I can see that.
All right, let's talk Packers. I know we want to talk Eagles, Commanders, but unfortunately, the resident Commanders fan is not available. So we're gonna have to save that for another day. But
It's all good.
let's wrap up the NFL talk with the Packers. Have they figured it out, or was this an anomaly? Are we really gonna see them make steps, or is this kind of the same old thing we've been seeing from them for the past 5-6 years?
If they learned anything from that Cowboys game, and it's what we have been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks, run the damn football. You have two workhorses back there in AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. You had 100 and I think it was like 67 yards rushing. Run the damn ball. It opens up so much. We've been saying it for a while, but they haven't done it, but they chose to do it against Dallas. Why? Because everyone knows how to beat Dallas. But if they're smart, they're going to use that formula that beat Dallas in the coming weeks. Now, granted, they play tonight. Let's see if they do it against Tennessee. But again, run the damn ball. But as you saw with Brady, all it takes is just one little jolt for someone like Aaron Rodgers, and that team's going to get going. We know that defense is talented. They don't have the receivers that they don't have the receivers. And we'll see if, a guy like Christian Watson can show up like he did against Dallas. But again, just run the ball. I think they found something. Let's see if they continue.
Yeah, I agree. But like we've been saying, like really could easily be two top 10 running backs in the league if they got enough reps. AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. To me, Aaron Jones is still like top 10 talent wise, but AJ Dillon, he's really just as good, and he can also get those yards from scrimmage. But all I gotta say that was a very fun coming like showing out party for Christian Watson, because like I said the very like week one, when how we're saying like, is it really Aaron Rodgers? Is he just like losing it, or is that, does he just really just not have any weapons? Because we seen Christian Watson drop like an easy touchdown catch like that very first game though, but now he just kept on trying. Aaron Rodgers kept on trusting him, and hey, he persevered and stepped up. So like hopefully we can actually like see that consistency from like these young players from like the Packers. Unfortunately, Romeo Doubs is so like a big loss, because if we're seeing like if Christian Watson can catch like 3 touchdown catches and like passes in one game, then hey, Romeo Doubs, already seen what he can do. That can be like a pretty good like wide receiver duo in Green Bay. A young wide receiver duo in the future. But just have to wait and see moving forward, and see if Aaron Rodgers can still be like that bad man that we really know him, on like a consistent basis. because it's been pretty rough. But basically, like kind of like like I said before, he just really doesn't have like his usual weapons. Like losing Devontae Adams and MVS, like that was like two like big key losses. And Alan Lazard, for some reason, he can just I don't know, man. He just really we seen him make plays, but he's just not consistent. So yeah, and he's like a veteran, so yeah, he just needs weapons. That's really what Aaron Rodgers needs is weapons. So yeah.
Alrighty. That wrapped up the NFL talk, man. Let's get into the NBA bag. All right, 8 players is currently averaging 30 points. Well, it's actually 7. The eighth player is averaging 29.9, but we're just gonna round it up. Make it nice
Yeah,
and good.
I saw that earlier, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
And mind you, the person that's 29.9 is hilarious. So I screenshotted it. I made
Giannis.
sure the screenshot. Yep, it's Giannis. So we have Luka Doncic, who's like running away with this. This man's averaging like almost 35 points a game, 34.4. We have Steph Curry, did he just explode for like 50 points
Yep.
in his last game? Yeah, he just went off. He was going crazy. Like Golden State, man, that boy needs some help.
Hey, man, the Warriors went off, man. Jordan Poole and Steph Curry combined for 52 points. That's wild, ain't it?
And Steph Curry scored 50. I love how you worded that there. All right, yeah. Joel Embiid, he also had an explosion to 59 points recently. Just was going off. And mind you, with him, he wasn't even taking no jumpers. He was going to the rim, being aggressive, going to the foul line, sticking his free throws. He's averaging about 32. We got Shea from OKC showing dudes that he's a hooper, dropping 32.3, tying with Embiid. Jason Tatum doing his thing, averaging 31. Boston's about, if I'm not mistaken, Boston's on pace to have one of the best offensive rates ever, if I'm not mistaken, like of all time. So that's interesting. Donovan Mitchell has been, whew, that boy been going off for the Cleveland, man. He's been doing it for the land, man. Kevin Durant's been 30.3 and Giannis is 29.9. And then if we really, really want to be petty, John Moran is 29.3. And John Moran has been going off this season as well. He's really kind of been puffing his chest and like, bro, I'm in the superstar conversation too. Can't blame him. So my question is, this has not been done since the 60s. We're talking before modern NBA.
Can I tell you what players those were real quick?
Sure.
So it was the 61-62 season.
Mhm.
Of course, Wilt Chamberlain, you know, he's leading. He led all scores, averaging 50.
Mhm.
Then you had Walt Bellamy in his rookie year, I think, averaging 31.
Very
Bob
sucked on
Pettit,
player.
31. Oscar Robertson averaged 30. Jerry West averaged 30. And then you had Richie Guerin, who averaged 29.5. But I'm going to just round it up and say 30. So that's 6. So we haven't seen scoring like this since the 60s. And damn near 50, 60 years. My math sucks.
No,
But
it's fine. You good, man. But yeah, it's really remarkable because now, if anything, as an offensive player in basketball, you basically have to have a bag now. Like it's not even like before where you could be a set shooter. You literally gotta have a bag, especially your guard. Like now, even as a big, you gotta have a little bit of a bag. You gotta be able to dribble a little bit. You got Jokic out here making crazy passes, no look passes, QB throws across the court and stuff. And this man, Joe Embiid, going to the basket, posting up, hitting them post hooks, get them little dream shakes. So it's like we're really seeing the game evolve offensively in a huge, huge way. And I think the pace isn't going to really slow down because we've been kind of trending up for the last, like, I'd say like 10 years or so. Yeah, the last 10 years or so, man, ever since like the mid 2010s up to now, scoring has really kind of just been going up and up and up. And the importance of shooting and spacing the floor has been so key. Like, if you can't space the floor now, you essentially unusable. So my take on it, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a really good. The only thing about it, and I think Darian talked about this last time. that there's just some teams where they just be chucking the three, and I'm just like, bruh. Like it's like when you know the three is not like now the NBA is a lot of teams are living or dying by that three ball. And it's just like sometimes if that shot's not working, bro, go ahead and change it up. Go to the mid range. Go to go to the rim. Try to get your easy point buckets at the free throw line. So my question is before we go into the early MVP candidates, do you guys think this explosion of scoring is a good thing or a bad?
I think it's when there's a lot of scoring, it's always a good thing because this is America. We don't want to see the or most fans don't want to see the 89 to 94 final scores. Like they like to see the games, in like 123 to 117 or something like that. It's not necessarily bad from like just a casual standpoint, but at some point you would think the defenses are going to catch up. The defenses are going to adjust and those averages are going to go down because again and it's still early, but I mean for what it's worth, it's not a bad thing because ratings are going to go through the roof. But I think like if this continues on, which I don't really think it will, if it continues on, it could be a bad thing.
Mark, do you have anything? Oh, okay. I was
Oh
waiting on
yeah,
you.
I didn't know he was done. Yeah.
I was
But
waiting on
anyway,
you.
yeah, we like yeah, it is kind of crazy to see that we have like uh just about like what 7 players, well really you can put like an asterisk by like I said, Giannis and Morant because like they're just under 30, honestly. I'm just like you say can round it to about 30. I think it's a good thing because like Darian said, the ratings, people want to see like exciting games, just like talent, just balling out, seeing what these professional athletes can do and like when like on the court, but like most people can't. So it's pretty like impressive of like and like good for the NBA honestly because John Moran, he's just like box office. Like every Grizzlies game I look at, I'm always like just get excited. I'm just like, bro, look at John Moran, and like he just make like these big explosive plays, like just make it look like so effortless. And it's really rare that we see that. And I got to give credit to like the Splash Brothers. Honestly, I say the mid 2010s when they were like winning that run and eventually won the finals because like their scoring at will just from behind the arc is really just had to like force other teams to really adjust to keep up with them. Moving like ever since then. So and like we haven't really seen as many like bigs just like have to like develop like a perimeter game. This much before because before like 6'8", like 6'9" plus players didn't have to worry about really having too much of a jump shot. Their really role was just like to only be in the post. So now you have like 7-footers who need to have a good dribble, a good way like to isolate on the perimeter a little bit, and yeah, set up plays all around the court, and actually like have a jump shot. So yeah, I feel as though it is I feel as though it's pretty good for the league for the NBA ratings, and I can see it moving continue to move forward as long as like that's like the new like standard like style of like the NBA. And as you see, like playing defense in the NBA is kind of hard these days with like fouls, the way fouls are being called. So yeah, it just gives like these good offensive players like a way to go off when sometimes they can't really like play like the hard defense like we've seen like in the early 2000s and like 90s basketball. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a pretty good thing for the league.
I think it depends because the impact that the Warriors had coming up, they won their chip in 15 and they had the one with KD that impacted the league. I think Houston Rockets with James Harden, how he played impacted the league. And I even say the Dallas Mavericks when Luka started coming up, they impacted the league ever because if I'm not mistaken, they had the best offensive rating ever in was it 19 or 20? One of those two. seasons, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
one
that
of the
Mavericks
two
team. They were
seasons.
scoring at will. That Mavericks team. I
They was
remember.
literally scoring
Hmm
at will, bro. So it's
Like
like
hundreds, like over like 115 a game. Like they were like going off those
we've
games.
been
Yeah.
seeing slowly but surely over the last like 10, 15 years, like scoring is really, really, really been evolving. And I don't see it as really a bad thing. The only thing, like I said, is just the shot selection. I feel like because you see people like CJ McCollum, DeMar DeRozan, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, all these guys that have this mid-range game that's essentially unstoppable because people's not guarding 15 feet because they think you about to drive, so they're gonna give you the space to take that shot. So I feel like what would make it be something that's balanced if you have more players that's prone to being three-level scorers, where it's not just the three, they can hit two, they can hit the 15, 17 footers, they can go to the rim, they can finish at the basket, they could go under the rim, play above, play below, depending on their size and their play style. So I feel like if we continue to evolve the offensive game, but also make it versatile at the same time, where it's like, okay, the three's not working. I'm going to take a couple steps in, take these 15, 13, 10 footers and get my easy buckets that way. Or I'm driving to the rim, I'm being aggressive, I'm trying to get to the line, I'm trying to give me shots. So, and that's been happening with certain players. Like, that's why I kind of really like Donovan Mitchell like Donovan Mitchell, he's really, really showing his entire offensive bag now. And I feel like he wasn't able to do that in Utah because he was the only option. Now he got Darius Garland. And funny thing about him and Darius Garland barely played together because that man got injured early in the season. He's just starting to get back together. He's just starting to get his legs back
It's
underneath.
really all Donovan Mitchell, honestly, carrying that
Yeah.
Cavs team, and it makes him more impressive.
He's the one carrying the team, and we're even seeing him step up on the defensive end. And I said that I said, let him get out of Utah and get in a team that is committed to playing defense as good as Cleveland is. Like they got the two twin towers that could not also guard the rim, but could also defend on the perimeter because they're bigs with foot speed and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And they got some other guys swimming off the bench. They got like Dean Wade. They got Chetty Osman who's competing. They got even they got dudes like what's it, Karis LeVert competing on the defensive end. The only person I think that's underplaying in Cleveland is maybe like Isaac Okoro, but with him, he's the type of player you got to give him time, man. Give him time. He got to get the right amount of reps. It's very important that you get drafted to the right situation because that's what we're seeing now with Laurie. Like Laurie Marketing is hooping in Utah. That man is showing all the offensive potential we saw in Chicago that got cut down by Jim Boylan, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it can be a good thing if we keep the offensive game versatile. If we keep it versatile, have more three-level scorers that could attack the rim, that could hit the mid-range, that could hit the three. That would be great. I would love to see that. And this looks like it's going in that direction, man. So I'm really glad about that.
Just seen some breaking news. Not sure if we want to switch subjects, but I mean, I guess it's somewhat important. But just seeing Kyrie Irving is cleared to play this Sunday versus Memphis. So the big
Hey,
three is back in the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see, all of this talk that's been going on. Kevin Durant sounding off. That's probably a whole nother subject. But hey, let's see if they can finally the Nets can get something going.
okay, that's good. That's
Stop being
really
the
good.
bid.
That's really good because we're gonna talk about the Kyrie thing when we get to Brooklyn Nets. That's probably gonna be the last thing we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that more. But appreciate the breaking news, bro. All right, let's go into the 5 MVP candidates. Who are your early MVP candidates, y'all?
All right,
Give me
all
your
right,
top
all right,
5.
all right. I've been waiting for this one.
In order, right?
This one's-
Or like
this one-
in no order, or like in order. I can make an order real quick though. I mean,
I already got. Well, I kind of got mine in order. I kind of got
or you
mine.
can go first. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
let you
go
go
ahead,
first.
Darren. I see the energy. You're ready to blow.
Well,
Go ahead.
look, me and CJ have been talking about this for at least the last couple weeks. But so number 1, I got Luca. 2 is Embiid. 3. Damn, I can't count today. 3 is Tatum. Giannis. You ready for this last one? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the SGA, Student Government Association. I ain't mad at it.
Student Government Association. Number
All right, look.
5 in MVP voting.
Well, Evan definitely don't want to hear that right now. But yeah, I ain't mad at it. Yeah,
You
mine is
funny as shit.
I got mine together. That was a solid one. Mine is a slightly different. Number one, I got Embiid. Number two, I have Luca. Number three, I have Jason Tatum. Number four, I have Donovan Mitchell. And number five, I have Giannis. Yeah, that was just a quick one I came up with. But yeah, Embiid, Luca, Tatum, Mitchell, and Giannis are my top five right now for early votes.
Like I said, early MVPs. You know, my pick, one of my picks in the top to begin the season. He's been in and out the lineup, so I'm not taking him out completely because
Another
I
wild
got to
take.
stand with it. I gotta stand with it, bro. Like if I lose, I lose. I gotta stand with my guy. But definitely top five looking right now. Luca's the runaway in my opinion, and I put Luca in my top three because I just had the feeling he was going to come out this season with a statement. You got Luca, you got Luca, JT, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, and the reason why I'm putting Giannis low, I want to see the stat line he's going to put him, man. I feel like purposely because he's won it before. Like I said, I'm saying the same thing I said before. The reason why I don't put Giannis in the top three because one, he's won it before. That recency bias will come up. Two, the storyline bias will come up. Like basically, his is a narrative driven. It'll be more so narrative driven than anything. And I'm looking at both sides of the equation here. So that's what happened for. And then five, hey, you got to put SGA, man. He's been hooping. He's been talking. He's been saying, listen, I'm tired of people put disrespect in my name, and I love it. I love it. I love the energy. I really do. Because I've always messed with SGA. Like I literally said when the Clippers drafted him, they got a guy that if they keep him, he's gonna be a bucket. But it's looking good right now. And maybe we'll talk about the Clippers, the Flippers. Maybe we'll
Whoa.
talk about them. We're probably not going to. Probably maybe next week. Because
The
them
two teams in LA will never be mentioned on this podcast in the near future. They don't even deserve me to say their names, especially that other one.
Gotta monetize those two words like shit.
This
Those two
man said,
franchises.
We no
We gotta
free
monetize
promos
them.
here. No free promos
this man
here.
said, I'm gonna refer to them by
Down
color.
with LA. We don't care.
He said, I'm gonna refer to them by colors, not the name.
Hey, that's
The
smart
only,
actually. It's easy to identify.
the only LA I care about is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yo, isn't that man like still? Is that man still playing in Brooklyn? He's retired. I don't even know.
I think he
Uh,
I think he is.
retired.
I think he is.
But I
he
do just
did
want to
come
say
back
one
for
more.
a slight second.
I want to say just one more thing. We did leave out Nikola Jokic and Devin Booker, and I want to apologize for it. But I'm on the SGA hype train, so I'm riding that all the way through.
The reason why I didn't say Jokic or D Book is one. I feel like those two teams are gonna be teams that take a step back this season. Well, Denver's gonna take a step forward from where they were last season, but they're not gonna be like top of the conference like you think we are because I think Murray and MPJ are gonna need this season to get back into tuning. Maybe most likely we'll see them ramp it up in the playoffs. Like I feel like they're just gonna get through the regular season, be a decent seed, be like a third or fourth, be a decent seed, and in the playoffs, that's when we're gonna see Denver really, really turn it up. That's what I feel like with them. And I feel like Phoenix more so, they're not going to super push in the regular season because they've proven that they could be a good regular season team. That team is built to win 50 games no matter what, just because of the roster construction and everything. I feel like those are going to be two teams we're more so going to watch out when the playoffs come around to see what they're going to do, especially Phoenix, because everybody's looking at them as frauds. Like Phoenix is now what Utah was 2 years ago. That's the position they're in now. Everyone's like, okay, we seen y'all winning the regular season. And then the one time y'all went to the finals, there was injuries and there was asterisks. What y'all really about to do when the competition is steep? And the competition is looking steep this year, y'all. So that's why I didn't really put those two. They're definitely top 10, 100%. But the reason I didn't put those two because I'm also looking for those teams to see what they're going to do in the playoffs in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with Jokic because I feel as though Jokic he doesn't really have to really do as much this season, like you mentioned, with Jamal Murray back and MPJ, which I'm kind of finally happy to see what that Denver team, what they can do with those three in. So now Jokic can some of the pressure comes off him where we won't really see like the same maybe like the same numbers we saw from last season. We're going to see Jamal Murray we're seeing how he plays on the offensive side and what MPJ can do. And so Denver, they're just like that a solid routine where Jokic, he can still ball out. Of course, he can still get those numbers and get those crazy highlights, but he doesn't really have to lead the team in all categories in order for them to win. So yeah, that's why I didn't really put Jokic as really MVP because really it's a lot of other valuable aspects that Denver has now with since they're getting healthy again. But yeah.
Nah, and also with Jokic, this man just won MVP back to back. He has nothing.
Yeah, 3P with MVP would be wild.
If anything, Jokic now he just wants to win. That's it. He just wants to win. He just want to win that chip. Like we talked about it before. Jokic is kind of in that whatchamacallit, hold up. Jokic is in that Giannis position that he was a couple years ago because Giannis has won multiple MVPs. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. He's now I put him as the best player in the league. And so now Jokic is like, listen, I don't need to put up the craziest stats. I could still put up good stats. I could still be the best player on the team. But now I got my two options back. I'm just trying to win. And that's why I say I'm more so going to be watching for them in the playoffs than it will be in the regular season. Especially with Phoenix too, because I feel like Phoenix too, they kind of mad. They got slapped in the mouth last year in the playoffs. Let's see what they do this year. Even though I don't think they're really going to do anything because DeAndre Ayton, he's just looking like he's phoning it in my opinion. That's what it looks like. It looks like he's phoning it in. He's doing the bare minimum. The whole offseason drama, I don't think they've gotten past that. I know that he reconciled his beef, his non-speaking with the coach. But I feel like Phoenix is just one of those teams, man. We might see them make a big trade this trade deadline. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I can see them trading Aiden or making a big move. I can see it happening because I just feel like they've lost that momentum they had as a team. And now from this point on, we're probably just going to see them be like a solid playoff team from here on out, especially with CP3 getting older. They're not a team that's going to get a bunch of free agents. They're going to have to master with drafting and self-development. But all right.
Yeah, I was going to say they kind of got to make two not big trades, but they got to make two trades because, Aiden don't look like he want to be there. I don't even know why they gave him that extension. Should just let him go to
right. They should just let him go to Indy. I would have actually liked that.
And then Jay Crowder doesn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. And then it's crazy because Jay Crowder doesn't want to be there. I heard Windhorst talking about this a couple days ago. Jay Crowder doesn't want to be there. Cam Thomas is hurt for the next couple months. Mm-hmm. Cam Johnson, I'm sorry. He's hurt for the next couple months. Mm-hmm. Why not just and you've basically just ruined that relationship to the point where you can't bring Jay Crowder back because he's the perfect person to fill that role.
100%.
And if you are any other team that would take Jay Crowder or that Jay Crowder would go to, because I assume he wants to go to a contender, who would you trade him for? Because they want a person like Cam Johnson.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. And his value is looking off because he's not played this season.
Exactly.
We live in a society where it's, what have you done for me lately? He's not played this season for people. He's already a depreciating asset as it is. But it's just crazy. Phoenix, they gotta get together. I don't know why they matched the contract with Aiden, but this should just let him go to Indy and then figure out the 5 position, make some moves, and keep it pushing, babe. That front office is already in shambles. Rob Service about to sell the team. So, hey, it's what it is. Let's go to the second to last conversation we're gonna have today. What NBA teams you think should hit the panic button? We're past the 11-12 game stretch. Yeah, 11-12, 17 play 13 game. So we're getting into that point of the season where teams are starting to build that identity for themselves. So what teams really should start thinking of making a move or signing somebody, doing something to switch things up.
So I have two. One is not going to surprise you, the Warriors.
Mhm.
The other one, I have defended them for the last 2 years, tried to change the narrative on them for the last 2 years. I think it's time to start calling them the Minnesota Timber bitches again, because that's what they are. I think it's time. Last year was the retirement tour. They made that trade for Rudy. And the thing is, we all thought that when it happened, it was weird. But I think we talked about it on the show, and we talked about it just just talking. Yo, I think this could work, because now Cat doesn't have to do all the stuff that Cat didn't want to do, which was go down low and bang around and be physical and all that other stuff. He can be nice and soft out on the perimeter, shoot jump shots at 7 feet tall, while Rudy does all that dirty work. Well, it doesn't not really happening that way, because the Ant-Man's not really having a good year. The spacing's terrible. D'Angelo Russell sucks at defense. The whole team sucks at defense. Basically, everything that the Timberwolves need is either on the Utah Jazz, that was a part of that Rudy Gobert trade, or they need that loudmouth leader who's going to keep everyone in check. But that one got traded to one of the teams that shall not be mentioned. So all of the pieces that would kind of help you in this situation, that could help you space the floor, that could play defense and scrap for the rebounds, also would not be afraid to get into your face. They're not there. You look at the Timberwolves play, and there is absolutely no chemistry.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I don't know what they do. Do you trade Karl Anthony Towns? Do you try and get a more of a playmaking guard? Do you go after a Jay Crowder? What do you do?
I feel like I said, Minnesota was one of my teams too, because I feel like Rudy Gobert is not the issue. Rudy Gobert is doing his job. The problem is, I think it's just the team, bro. There's just some teams in sports, right? Talk about alternate. This is beyond the court. Just have a bad stigma because they're losers. Like, it's not to be a dick. It's not to be hurtful. Just saying the honest truth. They're perpetual losers. The worst thing that could have happened for the Timberwolves last season was them getting into the playoffs, because they felt good. They felt like they actually accomplished something after being a middling franchise for the past point of 20 years now. So it's just one of the things. It's like Rudy Gobert came. He's doing his job. He's defending at the rim. He's still one of the most impactful defenders in the league. He's still one of the best lobsters, and he's still doing his job. I feel like it's just everybody else. I feel like the other team, they're not trying. And I feel like what's happened with Andrew Wiggins proves my point even further. Because even with the disasters going on in Golden State, guess who's one of the bright spots in Golden State? Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins he's still keeping his play consistent from last year. And we had this stigma with him for a long time while he was in Minnesota. Oh, he's a bust. Oh, he's not that good. Oh, he don't care. Maybe it wasn't Andrew Wiggins that was the problem. Maybe it was the Timberwolves. Maybe they're just a loser franchise to the point that everybody that's there knows they're losers and is going to play like it. Tell me, what does Minnesota won? What if they won? Zero. Nothing.
I think that city as a whole is just like well, the city as a whole, sports wise. I don't want to lump the whole city into it, but just that city's sports in general, like, is just full of losers.
Yeah.
The Wolves haven't done anything. The Twins are. I don't think they haven't won a World Series in like 30 years. The Wild, they stink. And the Vikings just find ways to be losers. Even when they're good, they find ways to be losers.
And the thing with the Silver is so irritated. It's not about they haven't won. My thing is I respect teams that are competitive, where they may not have won in a while, but they're always in the conversation. They have a puncher's chance. Minnesota has no damn puncher's chance. They're a loser franchise. You wanna know why I say that? Because every good player that leads Minnesota plays better. They either play better or they win.
Sanford, I hate to break. Oh, I'm pretty sure you already know this, but do you want to know who you kind of just described?
Who?
The Wizards.
Yeah.
You accurately described the Wizards.
Yeah.
That's what the Wizards are.
No, yeah. No. I agree. I am not a delusional Wizards fan. Believe me, I am not. I agree with you. But the thing is why I respect DC more than the Timberwolves. The reason why I do, here's this, right? There's a point in time where we were competitive. Number one, there was a time we were competitive. When John Wall and Beal were clicking on all cylinders in the mid 2010s, we were a respectable team. We were a team where niggas would be like, all right, we got to try against this thing. They may not be the best, but it's going to be a fight. And then also times with Gilbert Arenas and everything. Like the Wizards is not the best franchise, but they are far from the worst. Timberwolves, we're talking bottom five, bro. Because what have they won? What have they had to cling their hat on? Everything they had. Okay, KG, boom, he won an MVP for them. Cool. He leaves. Kevin Love. They literally couldn't make the playoffs for Kevin Love. Like, it's one thing to be a consistent player. We were always a consistent playoff team when John Wall was in his full element. We were always a consistent playoff team. They were losing with Kevin Love averaging 26 and 12. They were losing. They were winning 40 games a season. And then they literally go on this stretch where they're losing. Like, they'll only win like 20, 25 games. Cat comes to the team. Wiggs comes to the team. They get Jimmy Butler in that trade for Zach LaVine. And they have that one season where they're actually a competent team. But the thing that kills them, and Jimmy Butler's getting proven more right, their boys ain't got no heart. They ain't got no will, man. They got all the talent. Minnesota has all the talent in the world to be a solid team where they're always in the playoffs. They're always competing. They always have a chance. They have a puncher's chance because not every team is going to win. There's going to be a lot of losers. But there's difference when I talk about perpetual losers when you literally are getting hyped. You're standing so proud of, bro. We made the play in. We made it to the playoffs, man. Oh my God. We could have took out Memphis, but y'all wasn't going to. Number one, let's just get that out of the way. But yeah, when you're hanging your hat on that and that, like, bro, you remember the way they celebrated? They celebrated like they won the goddamn NBA championship. I was like, what is this? And you see, like it was crazy. Like it's one thing to celebrate a playoff win. They celebrate a play-in win to get to the playoffs. Crazy, bro. Mentality is everything, y'all. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, Minnesota's one of the team, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Just trade the franchise. Get them out of here. Go. Get them the hell out of here. Trade them to Seattle. I want to see the Seattle Supersonics versus OKC rivalry. I want to see it. I'm ready. Because that is real. That's you want to talk about a actual fire feud between two cities. That's a feud right there. Because there's people in Seattle, the people in Seattle have never forgiven the team ownership from moving the team to OKC. They've never forgiven. So you already know if that happens, man. That'll be a game. I'm tuning in for that. That atmosphere would be dope. But move them to Seattle. Trade the whole team. Everybody got to go. Just get rid of them. Nuke them from the NBA at this point. Because what are they doing? I know it sounds wild, but hey, it is what it is. So that's one of my teams. My second team is going to surprise you. I think OKC should trade Shea. I think they should trade him to Toronto.
I heard something like that. I feel like they won't do it. I understand why you think they should, but I don't think they should.
I don't think they are going to do it just off the back reason that even though they're a rebuilding franchise, they need a guy to send around to say, this is our guy. You need that. And Shea's their guy, 100%. Shea has proven that this season that he's a him, that he's been slept on for way too long. And he probably could be an all-star this season. I wouldn't be surprised. With the way he's playing, he probably could make an all-star game. I feel like I'm gonna make a hot take. This is my hot take for tonight. Hot take, hot take, hot take. There's gonna be a lot of guys that make the all-star team, and it's gonna be a lot of guys that's left off the all-star team, and you're gonna be surprised.
Hold on. See, I thought you was gonna say like Shea's gonna make the All-Star team, like Shea and say like a De'Aaron Fox is gonna make the All-Star team, and hi. Shea and De'Aaron Fox is gonna make the All-Star team, and say like Steph Curry and Anthony Davis won't.
See, that's stupid. Just the Steph Curry alone is dumb.
I know.
AD,
I
can see that.
I just.
That was the first thing you
thought of
thought
a
of.
name.
No, yeah, I understand. No, like, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like, there's gonna be guys that's gonna be first time All Stars this year that's gonna make it over guys that's been making it for the past like 10 years or so. That's gonna happen this season. There's gonna be a lot of new guys that's coming in that's gonna step up to the plate because if I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the wildest opening to an NBA season we probably ever seen. Like in terms of, there's no way you could have predicted this. I don't care what you can't. You're lying if you say, "Oh, you knew the season gonna start this way." You're lying. All the takes that we said from the beginning of the season is not standing. They've kind of been flipped on their heads. So that's the two things. I think OKC, if they really wanted to make a move and say, "All right, we're gonna try and cash in for Shea," I think trading him to Toronto would be awesome.
So, with you saying that, dang, I have no choice but to talk about these niggas. All right. So because it brought a thought into my head. Like we never talk about how the Clippers traded for Paul George and they gave them that haul, which included Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but it hasn't amounted to anything. And we can talk about injuries and all this other stuff, but at this point, especially me as a Lakers fan, that's just an excuse. Like to me, what it's looking like is it's a failed experiment. And you look at how OKC, they're not, as we speak right now, they're not in the play-in, but they're competitive. You can see that they're going somewhere.
They have a direction.
Yeah.
100%.
Whereas the Clippers, you watch them and it's like, okay, yeah, this team is good. I picked them I picked them to be the one seed. And you kind of look at them, you're like, okay, I see the potential, but the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Chargers are the same franchise where you have all this talent. You have all of these expectations, and you just find a way to just not meet them. There's always there's always something to why you're not here. So I just kind of look at the Clippers trading away Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to OKC, and I'm like, well, the Clippers got their guys, but it hasn't amounted to anything. all it's done is just this pointless who runs LA battle with the Lakers that although they're better, so much better than the Lakers, they're not winning. Because at the end of the day, we made the trade, we got a title. They made the trade, they haven't done anything.
You know what's so funny about what you said, right? You know what the Clippers' one problem is? It's one guy. And it's why I never picked them to be the first seed. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is hurt. This is my final take, and then we're going to go to the Nets. We're going to talk about the Brooklyn. We're going to close out with that. Kevin Durant is hurt. Okay. I'm sorry. What the heck, Kevin Durant? Kawhi Leonard is hurt. Look, I'm sorry. Talking to this to make KD pop in my head. But Kawhi Leonard is hurt. That man is not healthy, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody says, bro. That man is hurt. That man has some degenerative injury that they don't want to talk about. He has something going on where it's been linking for a minute now. Like, this is not something that just popped up this season. No, bro. He's been having something going on with for the past few seasons. The only healthy season we saw from Kawhi in the Clippers in LA was the 2020 season. Was the season where the bubble happened. And you know what happened? The Denver Nuggets packed them niggas up in a game 7 where both PG and Kawhi underperformed. People talk about pandemic P. People don't talk about how Kawhi shot 6 for 20 that game. Men's couldn't buy a bucket. And that's the only healthy season he's had. Every other season, he's been hurt at some point. So it's just like Clippers, they got a Kawhi Leonard problem. Something going on with him that he not telling nobody else. He got some type of degenerative injury that's going on that's breaking him down slowly but surely, like a Grant Hill type of thing. That's what I feel like the problem with Clippers. They invested in a guy that cannot be available because the best ability is availability.
But no one talks about that. All they want to do is make fun of that other dude who's injury prone in LA.
You talking Mr. Street Clothes?
They don't want to say nothing about Kawhi, But I mean, it comes with the territory.
If anything, Kawhi and PG are injury prone. Both of them are. If we're gonna keep it a buck.
You know what sucks about this is I've been such a PG fan. I've been such a PG fan. I like PG more than I like LeBron, and it's always been like that. But PG just had to go to the Clippers, and LeBron had to come to the Lakers. And now I got to root for LeBron, which is not really a problem, and I got to root against PG. Same thing with John Wall. Why you got to go to the Clippers? Why do you have to do that to yourself? Why you got to do that to me? Anyways, I'm done.
Now, I will always support my boy John Wall. As people know, I got a John Wall post on my wall. Always support that boy no matter what team he at. Because he meant so much to DC, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah. So with the Clippers, I don't even know what they could even do. Like, that's why I even bring them up because they can't even trade. What move are they gonna make? They're kind of stuck with the team that they got, to be honest. There's no getting better. Like, they literally just have to bank on Kawhi being healthy. So that's
like they put together a championship team, but it's just not working out. That's literally like as simple as that.
They put together a team that could literally go all the way. But the reason why they won't go all the way and the reason why they're never, ever, ever going to be given the favorite pick by me because they have Kawhi Leonard on the team, who is the master of load management that nobody wants to talk about. People always want to clown Anthony Davis. People always want to clown all these other players.
But being LeBron for it, but Kawhi does the same shit though, and that's a good
anyone
point.
that's clowning LeBron
about it. Yeah.
First thing, anyone that's clowning LeBron for it, bro, y'all need to go check yourself. The man is 38 years old, playing 20 seasons in the NBA. Like we're just seeing him naturally break down. It happens to everybody.
Right, exactly. But that's
So
like the trolls, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
NBA is
I don't
just
take
like
those people seriously.
toxic.
And
Yeah.
they're like, oh,
Hmm.
LeBron, he injury prone bastard. Bruh, shut up. The man played like 17, 18 years without getting hurt. Be quiet, bro. Like, I want you to go to the NBA and play for 18 years. Probably would even make it alone. So yeah, like people want to clown everyone else. Oh, people even talk about Joel Embiid and all this, but nobody wants to talk about the guy that is literally famous for load managing,
He
Kawhi
stays quiet
Leonard.
about it. That's why, because like why he knows how to like master the media. He just knows how to stay quiet so he can get away
Hmm.
with it.
He
But he
says
does
to
like he's on the
himself,
same bullshit though. Yup, but he's on that same BS. Honestly,
he's
doing
on
it like you
this.
said. Now, same thing that Ben Simmons was doing. Honestly, Kawhi's doing the same shit, literally. So honestly, at least you're seeing like
Nah,
Ben Simmons. Like
see. The reason why Ben Simmons is way worse, Kawhi's actually hurt. That's the thing about it. Like, there's something going on with Kawhi that we don't know, but there's some degenerative injury that's going on. Ben Simmons just didn't want to play. Like, Ben Simmons committed like probably the greatest basketball sin you could commit. This man was 100% healthy. He truly just let the demons get to him and let his mental faculties completely shut down. And he said, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'm not coming. I'm not playing." That's what he did. Kawhi, there's something wrong with him because I know if he was healthy, he would play. We all seen Kawhi when he's healthy, especially in the playoffs, man. He's a monster. But there's something going on with him, bro. Some injury that's lingering, that's not going away, that
undisclosed.
we don't
The
know
media is
about
not
it.
going to say. Yeah, it's
Right. But
undisclosed.
it's
Hmm.
just so crazy, bro. But let's talk about Brooklyn, man. Let's close out with Brooklyn. Because Brooklyn, they have been the epicenter of drama this season. So, as you wonderfully broke news earlier, Mark, Kyrie's coming back on Sunday, which is good. But what's so interesting about the Brooklyn is Katie has some very interesting comments to say. He was talking about their starting lineup, and talking about the young guys and the role players that's on the team. He was like, "Y'all really only expect us to win because I'm on the court, because I'm Kevin Durant." And it's funny how people been calling them KD and the kids when really it's not really a lot of kids, it's a lot of vets. But it's just anyway funny how they kind of got the nickname. And shout out to Jock Vaughn for getting his team to play better basketball. Shout out to him. He's gonna be a solid head coach, 100%. Like, I could tell the players respect him. The players listen to him. They got a nice system going up in there. They've been playing a lot better under his regimen than Steve Nash. A lot better. Like, I can see that there's something building up in Brooklyn that we probably not gonna be prepared for when they're at full strength. So that's number one. So what do you guys think about his comments? Do you think KD's comments were warranted? Do you think he was being a bit braggadocious? What y'all think?
For starters, basically a synopsis of what he said was, I have, I think he said he had like Joe Harris, Cam Thomas, Edmund Sumner, and Nick Claxton plus himself as our starting lineup, and you expect us to win. Y'all only expect us to win because I'm I'm here. I hear it and I say that like he's not wrong. Like maybe if this was back when LeBron was leading the Cavs second unit to the NBA finals, you can say that because there were a lot of teams that just had a superstar and a lot of others. But now it's just like you need to have at least two. Every team that you look at has at least two. Even even the Kings have two. The Rockets have two. The Magic has two. But like he's not wrong in what he's saying, but if I'm in that locker room, I'm just like, come on, bro. You you. He's not like if it was me and you saying it, then we're not wrong. But again, you're going out into the media and you basically just saying, you really want me to sit here and play with these guys? I don't know how I would feel. And I don't want to say that Kevin Durant did it all to himself, because he didn't. Like, some of this stuff is above him and all he's trying to do is hoop. But dude, you chose to come here. You chose to play with Kyrie. You chose to stand by Kyrie. Now, he also said that he's not going to sit here and tell another grown man what to do with his wife. He's right about that. I actually kind of respect him for saying that. But as the star on that team, who is also the leader in that locker room, like, you don't say that. And if that's a form of leadership, like, that's a very effed up form of leadership. And I mean, but hey, maybe it'll work. I don't know. It usually doesn't when you start calling players out, you know. But again, I mean, from I feel like from a teammate's perspective, yeah, you probably, it probably sucks. But I just look at KD as a leader and I'm like, bro, like, that's effing terrible.
I've always said this about Kevin Durant. He's a all-time player when it comes to talent, but when it comes to being a leader, he's not a leader. Like we've said before, sometimes the best player on your team is not the actual leader of the team. And Kevin Durant is proving that. Excuse me, my voice is cracking. I don't know why. Kevin Durant just proved that because, like, Kevin Durant doesn't seem to me the type of guy that's going to rally the troops and bring everyone together. Say, all right, guys, listen, we're not playing the best. We're struggling right now, but we got to get it clicking. We're gonna get it clicking. Boom, bam, bow. And I just feel like, I don't know, like Kevin Durant just gives me a lot of whiny vibes. Like, okay, things not going my way, bro. You pick this, bro. There's a lot of times, we pick something and we get into some shit, bro. Sometimes you gotta lock your head in and dive in that and make it work. Like, you pick this. You were supposed to go to New York. You were supposed to be a Knick. You chose Brooklyn because you wanted to play with your best friend Kyrie Irving, and I understand that because Kyrie Irving was coming to Brooklyn no matter what. That was gonna happen. It was just the fact that, is he gonna come with somebody or not? And we've seen that it's just been nothing but drama. Nothing but drama ever since these two have come to Brooklyn. And now we can't even say Kyrie's even the center of the drama because Kyrie's in the background right now. He's trying to deal with his own stuff. He's trying to deal with his name being thrown through the mud because of some stupid, like, this is like some stupid deeper than basketball thing that's going on. And I wouldn't even say it's stupid. It's just that his reputation has kind of caused all this to happen. Like, it's a conglomerate of everything that's going on. But Kevin Durant now is really just showing his true colors, that he wanted that trade. He didn't get that trade. He's gonna pout. He's gonna complain. He's gonna say all this stuff, and I'm just like, bro. Right now, the thing you need to do, you need to locked in and play ball, bro. Hoop. Show why you're good. This is the time where you got to be like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm trying to make this season the best it could be. We're in the pursuit of winning a championship and try to rally the team, man. That's what they need right now because they weren't getting it for Steve Nash. Steve Nash was around 2 days. Steve Nash lost the respect of that locker. It's just so much when it comes to that team, man. And Kevin Durant right now, he's not making a good case for himself, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, hey, come for me. I just feel like right now, this is not the time for this. It's not the time for it, bro. With everything else going on around the team with the Kyrie stuff, this is not the time for it, bro. You got to be the pillar. And sometimes we got to be the pillar. Sometimes you don't speak. You don't speak very much. Sometimes you say very little. So, hey, I'm locked into the game right now. Focus on winning. Focus on trying to bring Brooklyn a championship. Keep it going. So that's my opinion on the whole thing. And what's so crazy, we're only a few weeks in the season, y'all. Like, all this is happening. The season just started, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But, Mark, you got anything to say to add on before we close out, bro?
Oh yeah, well you pretty much are making good points about how you can be the best player on the team but not be a leader because they were just talking about that on first things first on FS1 and basically saying how Kevin Durant is really doesn't have like that kind of like, the skill sets to really, okay, be an example, be like, in some of the way like a guidance for like somebody else because like Kevin Durant, he kind of like does his own thing. He's his own authentic self but it's not always like the best way to follow everybody in our own authentic way. It's like Kevin Durant is right now is just doing what's like really like is working for him. And but as you see, the Nets overall as a team are just suffering because of all just the drama that's been surrounding like the stars. So yeah, right now Kevin Durant basically just threw shade, basically threw like his whole team under the bus, honestly. So yeah, the Nets it's really going to be interesting seeing how they're going to like respond just moving forward with like everything going on and finally where Kyrie Irving has gotten do his suspension process he's cleared to play. We should just like move on like nothing else really should be talked about outside of basketball. And yeah, man. So because the Nets have already been dealing with like really like ever since last year they've been dealing with enough drama. So yup. It's going to be interesting, like really to see how they're going to like respond to all of this moving forward because it just seems like just gets kind of rockier for them, honestly.
Nah, man, 100%. Just praying for Kyrie, praying for KD too. Just praying for these brothers, man. It's a crazy season. Hope they find that balance. But y'all got anything y'all want to say before we close it out for tonight?
Arsenal went into the World Cup break on top of the league. Enough said.
Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. We episode 90. We about to start a whole new season. The 301 pretty good. 2-year anniversary coming up. We got the anime roundhouse coming up. We got a lot of things planned for y'all, man. We're gonna end the year strong. We're gonna go into 2023 strong as well, and it's gonna be beautiful. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for checking us out. Thank y'all for being beautiful. Continue pushing the movement. Continue growing the name, and continue being awesome.